Grounding through the feet. Connecting to your breath as you begin your practice this morning. Growing roots down through the feet. Letting your mind begin to clear, letting go of the week so far. And we'll begin with some gentle motion, lifting the right arm up, inhaling overhead, exhaling, bringing this arm down. If you can, bring those big toes in together if you feel stable. Reaching up through the other side, the lower hand sinking down. Then we'll lift both together, inhaling up, back bending a little here, exhaling. So starting that over, inhaling right, exhaling down. Left lifting, dynamic energy, pulling those hands apart, exhaling. And as you lift up, engaging the core as arms reach back, gazing up, floating down. We'll move through that one more time. Inhaling, exhaling. Noticing if anything's new or different today. Lifting up. And then we'll come into chair. Sweeping arms forward, or they can rest on the legs. Breathing here. Hands can also come into the heart. As you ground through the feet, really pressing into the heels. Finding your center here. Let me make sure my other volume's off here. Okay, sorry about that. Finding your breath here in chair. Drawing hands into the heart. We'll inhale here and twist over to the right. Holding here, you can have forearm on the legs or you can keep the hands to the heart. Another option is to open those arms up and down. So just going gently into a twist here. Opening the shoulders, reaching that raised arm up. The shoulders sinking a little bit. The fingertips are reaching up. Feeling that stretch from the palm to the shoulder down into the upper back. Breathing here. And then we'll bring the hands in, switching sides as you recenter through the middle. Lifting up. If hands are in the heart or you're more supported, focus on twisting from the hips. Reaching across. Gaze can be up or down or forward, wherever your neck feels okay. Then we'll bring hands back into the center, inhaling up. And we'll come down to a nice forward fold, hinging at the hips. You can use arms for support, or you can find a block if you need it. Sinking down into fold. Letting go here. Checking in with the neck and the head, just releasing down. You can check in with the wrists here, finding some circles, opening those hands out. At this point early in your day, connecting to the breath. And from here, we'll bring hands down, lowering one knee at a time. Coming to hands and knees, centering on your mat. Moving into cow and then cat. We'll sink down the belly button, gazing forward, inhaling. Tiny little bend in those elbows to support the muscles, to let the joints be safe. Exhaling, lifting up. Releasing the head and neck down. Repeating, inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. As you gaze back to those toes, pointing them back if they're pointing in or out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Repeating once more here. Inhaling. Exhaling. From here, we're going to lift the right arm and left leg up. Balancing, opposite arm and leg lifting. Reaching up and forward, and then back and long. Balancing here. As you extend out, really feeling the arm and the leg growing longer. Keeping those hips really level. So sinking the hip of that raised leg, activating the leg. And then we'll bring this hand, knee and foot down, switching sides, lifting up. Growing a little taller here, really lengthening out. Feeling light on the hand and the knee. So by engaging that core a little, we draw sort of a fluidity into the body. Often when we see athletes or anyone that's very graceful, a lot of core strength is involved in that balance. It helps lighten the pressure on those contacts. Breathing here. And we'll bring the raised hand down, sinking the knee and foot, reversing back to child's, hips to heels, floating down and back. Releasing the forehead down. As you sink down here in child's, connecting the mind and the body through the breath. As you sink down, just noticing your energy today. Often through yoga, we have the ability to impact our energy. Sometimes we can harness whatever energy we're feeling into our practice. We can use whatever energy we have. What we're trying to do is find a state where we're not fighting. We are going with what we feel. We are going with the current situation. We're trying to surrender a little bit. So to surrender, we're letting go of judgment or expectations. We're just truly being in the moment and flowing. By flowing, it's not necessarily the movements we do. We're flowing with our breath. We're letting a sense of flow take over, so it draws us into the present, and we don't even notice time is passing. So from here, breathing in child's, remembering you can always let go and pause in child's to reconnect with that sense of your energy. You can always do that anytime in your practice that you need to. From here, moving into downward dog, tucking the toes, lifting up and back. Breathing here. Reaching the hips to the sky. Pressing the heels down. One at a time if you want. Connecting with every cell in those feet. Feeling every nerve connecting down from the tips of the toes to the heel. Really embracing that mental connection with the feet that keeps our balance strong. From here, inhaling, coming to plank from feet or knees. I did a lot of these earlier. In plank, no matter where you are, it doesn't matter, feet or knees, you want a straight line, more or less. The body is not an exact straight line, but you want to feel challenged in the core, in the arms, a little bit in the back and the legs. The whole body is holding together in plank. From here, lowering down, releasing down, lifting up. Now extending the spine long in cobra. We'll take a few breaths here. Here's where we release that pressure, that strength building. We're still building strength in a different way. We're using the breath, connecting to the core, lengthening us out. We're teaching the back its range of motion again, right? This just isn't where we usually go during the day. We can retrain the spine. We can remind it. Yes, you can extend back. Yes, we can keep the space between the chin and chest. Yes, we can sink the shoulders, especially that upper back. Yes, we can fold back and forward, right? Breathing here. Honestly, if there's one yoga pose I would recommend the whole world do, it just might be this one. There's so many good ones, but this is what our modern life doesn't remind us. Breathing here. And from here we'll go back either to child's or down dog. Slowly lowering down, reversing back. More rest, moving into that down dog, child's. More heat, moving into that down dog. You decide. Breathing here. Finding your breath. From here, we're going to lower down to hands and knees. Once again, we're going to bring the right, let's do left. The left foot off the mat, just so I can face you first. The left knee down, the left hand down. We're going to lift that right arm up. So, you can stay here. Most pressure on that knee and top of foot. A little bit in the hand too. If you feel stable, you can lift that back leg up. Nice and high, parallel to the floor. Pressing that heel away from you. Feeling strength building in that upper half of the body. Lifting the leg, gaze can be up or down. This is a side plank, a little bit modified, but not easy. Feeling the core working across the front and the back. For a little more challenge through the legs, you could have this lower leg more angled. So more of a 45-degree angle. That also puts more pressure on the arm. So you decide. My arm is telling me you've done a lot. Breathing here, which is a good thing. Finding your breath. And we'll close back to the center, coming to hands and knees, switching sides. Bring that foot to the outside, lifting up. Please don't do that. Raising the hand. If you feel stable on that knee, if a lot of that knee is contacting down, a lot of the shin and top of foot, then you can lift that back leg up. My same kitty's outside the window here that ambushed me last week. I did this outside last week. Breathing here, reaching up to the sky, feeling that whole hand reach down and press down. Pressing through the back heel. At the same time, that energy in the pelvic floor is lifting up towards the heart. So you're drawing in a little through the floor as you press that heel out. Lengthening the leg. Breathing here. And then bringing the raised hand down. Coming back, child's or down dog. Breathing here. Connecting to what you need from this practice today. Is it breath awareness? Is it building strength? Is it just finding those edges of each muscle group? Listening to your body. Undoubtedly, you'll get some of all three, right? From here, we'll go through the half series again. Inhaling plank. Nice long line in the body. Exhaling down. Ooh, goodness. Inhaling up. My arms are talking. Breathing here. Exhaling down. Pushing back. Child's or down dog. As you move through, letting your breath guide you from here, we're going to step the right foot forward through the hands. Planting that back heel down. Warrior one. Breathing here. Finding your breath. Sinking down through that front knee. Trying to really feel that strength in your torso today. So the torso can sort of hang out as if we're standing in line at the bank, right? Just hanging out. Or it can be very warrior, right? What do we think of when we think of a warrior? Someone standing tall, strong, shoulders down a little, holding your space. Core active, drawing in towards the spine. A warrior is usually holding something, right? A shield, a sword, arrow, stick. If we hold something, we naturally use our upper body strength and our core, right, to help wield that tool. Here, our own body is all we have, right? So often in warrior, arms lift to remind us to activate the core, right? To keep active as though a wind is blowing, right? We would also brace ourselves a little in a strong wind. So breathing here in warrior, feeling that activity, shoulders drawing down. Perhaps a warrior would push something up in the air, right? Have to get over a wall, push your friend soldier over the wall. Think of something that invokes strength for you as you find warrior to help you build that feeling of strength. As the legs sink down, legs are bracing too, right? If you're pulling something, legs would brace. Imagine that little bit of activity in your warrior to really build that feeling of strength. And from here, inhaling, we'll exhale down to pyramid. Now hinging at the hips, folding forward, sinking down. You can always use a block here. Any height if you want it. Sinking. Releasing through the head and neck. If you can. Of course you can. Letting that whole spinal column relax down. Both feet all the way down. Lifting that back arch a little if you can. If you tend to sink into the arch. Just shifting a little. If that's too intense on the knee, you can always shorten to give you a little more room in the knee and the arch. Breathing here in pyramid. From here, we're going to move into twisting half moon. If you don't have a block, that's okay. Just use the floor. If you have that block, bringing it forward and inside the front foot, so a diagonal. You want that lateral stability, right? If the block's right in front of your front foot, that's a lot harder to balance on. Now, if you have a lot of lateral flexibility, it's okay to work towards that. But just finding a place where you feel stable to begin with. Bending through the front knee, lifting the back leg. You can remain right here, especially if you don't have a block. You could just keep that hand low and lift this other arm a little. If you have that length in your spine, that you feel like you're able to spiral around. Lifting that right arm up, gaze can go forward, down, or up. Twisting half moon, so turning towards the front leg, breathing here. And then we'll bring this raised hand down, stepping the back leg back, down dog or child's, reversing back. Releasing the hips, knees, and feet. From here, you can hold down dog or child's. If you want a little more activity, moving to plank. Plank from feet or knees, listening to the body. Exhaling down. Lifting up, dog or cobra. Remember, cobra, very supported. Reminding that spine of length. If you've done this a while, you can always explore that up dog, which is just hands and feet. Now in up dog, it's very important that the core is active, lifting the spine just a little so that the spine is not simply compressing down, right? We know if that spine's curved, the back edges of the vertebra are closer. Lifting the core helps create that strength in the spine to help keep it safe. So, hands down, tops of feet, no knees. You could do knees to start, just to check in. If you're working towards this in baby steps, that's fine. But up dog is hands and feet only. How do you get to down dog from here? Well, you can either bend the knees to child's, or you can simply flip one toe at a time. That's what I do, 1 foot at a time. And move back to down dog. We're not all the same proportions, so there's no just one way to do it. You do what feels safe and right for you. From here, we're going to step the other foot forward. So, warrior one, left leg forward. Breathing here. Remembering the strength of a warrior. I'm teaching my son, or reading with my son, How to Train a Dragon. It's very funny, but they're Viking warriors, right? So it talks about their tough warrior ways, their tools, their abilities. In our yoga warriors, we don't need all those skills, perhaps. But we still want to harness that warrior feeling, that ability to defend, that ability to protect, and above all, that strength in the body that every warrior has. Breathing here. And then we'll hinge down, relaxing the arms, floating the torso down, elongating the body, sinking down into pyramid. Good job breathing here. We'll transition our way to twisting half moon, bringing that block forward and to the inside. Starting here in airplane, similar to warrior three, right? Feeling grounded through the foot, a little bend in the knee, hip over ankle. Starting to lift that left arm up, twisting when and if you're ready. Feather weight in that hand, most support in the leg, twisting around. We'll bring that raised hand down, stepping back one leg at a time, down dog or child. Evening out through both sides, feeling stable. Floating here in stillness, or you can move if you're moving. Inhaling plank. Exhaling down. Lifting up. Floating back. Letting go with every breath, every motion, always returning back to neutral. From here, we'll step the left foot forward through the hands. Warrior two, nice big distance, pivoting that back foot to the side. Opening long. Opening fingertips away from each other. Sinking the hips down. Drawing that front leg into alignment here. Breathing. Feeling leg strength building. And then floating into triangle. Front leg straightening out, tipping over. In triangle, reaching one arm up, the other one resting gently on the front leg or block. You can also extend your triangle out a little. Gazing up or down here. Then bending that front knee. We're going to come into lunge for twisting lunge. Back knee can be down or up. A little less intense, lower that back knee down. If you need your block, placing that inside the front foot. Starting to twist towards the front knee. You can hold here, hand on the knee. Feeling that gentle twist. You can always lift this arm up. As you twist, starting it at the hips. As you twist, thinking of that spine lengthening out like a rope, drawing straighter and straighter, and then that rope is twisting. Trying to wrap each shoulder around the spine, if that makes sense. Twisting one up and one down. Breathing here. Then gently drawing yourself back center, sinking back, child's or down dog. Finding right and left equal, stable, supported. Holding here for more stillness, more coolness in your practice. You need a little more warmth, moving through. Inhaling, plank. If you have knee issues but want to plank, you can try to keep those tops of the feet down to support the knees. Exhaling down. Lifting up. Up dog or cobra. Reversing back, down dog or child's. From here, we'll step the left foot forward through the hands. Come into warrior two now on the other side. Reaching up. Finding that steady center over the legs. Drawing the front knee more bent. Breathing in two directions. Inhaling and exhaling. Once more, feeling that strength of the warrior. The warrior stands up tall, so we're lengthening that spine even as we're sinking down. Holding our space. Transitioning to triangle. Straightening out through the front leg, tipping over. As you move through, breathing and feeling. Adapting as needed. Always challenging yourself. Finding beauty, finding a sense of contentment within each pose. And from here, bending through the front knee. Pivoting into lunge. Back knee raised or lowered. As you twist, using that block if you need it or want it. Twisting just a little, bringing that hand to the front leg. Or you can twist a lot. Reaching up. As you reach, using your breath to deepen your twist, exhaling out. Inhaling. Bringing that raised hand down, stepping back, child or down dog. Breathing here. From down dog or child's, walking the feet forward to your forward fold. Coming into fold, breathing here, letting go. From here, we'll move through a little flow, bending the knees a little bit. Inhaling up for chair and forward fold, flow. Inhaling up, exhaling chair. Sweeping forward, inhaling, lifting. Coming to that forward fold down, hinging. Releasing even through the top of the head, repeating, inhaling up. Back bending here, just like we did at the beginning of class. Exhaling chair, pressing legs together if you've got those feet in together. Building that strength, knitting it along the legs. Inhaling up, forward folding down. Moving with your breath. If you've done this before to challenge balance, you could close your eyes. Not required at all. Just an option to change how you sense the present moment. With eyes closed, you'll notice other senses taking over. Sound, touch. Flowing through. One more time. We'll meet back in our forward fold. And here we'll move into gorilla. So from here, taking one hand at a time with palm facing up, we'll place the hands under the feet. This could be just fingertips, but if you're able, try to see if you can get the toes all the way to the inner wrist. So really bending the knees as you start, getting down low. Feeling how it feels to balance with one hand under the foot. That feels okay. Drawing the other hand under as well. The heels are grounding. You can give yourself a little massage with those toes on the wrists. Knees can be bent a lot, or you can start to straighten those legs out. Breathing here in gorilla. Now we'll release the hands. Checking in here, releasing those hands, releasing any tension. Coming up, inhaling and exhaling, moving to mountain. All right, from mountain, checking in. You're doing good. Checking in with those feet, arms, and legs. From here, we're going to do our standing balance. So we're going to explore eagle. Eagle is nice and twisty. Get a little bit of everything in eagle. Sometimes you like the mat, sometimes you want the hard floor. It doesn't matter. But wherever you are, we're going to start with that right leg grounding. So really focus on that right foot for a minute. We're going to find the foot to be sort of stable, steady, like a weight, like a heavy weight, right? If we put our mailbox surrounded by cement, the mailbox cannot move, right? We're thinking of our foot that way, grounding us down through. From here, as you find that stability, moving arms out wide, right? Just like a bird with wings. Having those wings out, minor adjustments help us stay the course where we want to be. A little bend is in that supporting knee. When ready, we're going to focus on the legs first, picking that left leg up, crossing it over. So just like sitting cross-legged, if you have a lot of flexibility in the hips, you might be able to tuck that raised foot behind the other calf. Do not have to do that. It's just optional. From here, since the left leg is over the right, we're going to bring the right arm over the left, bringing them in and crossing. You can stay here. If this is too much, keep those arms out wide. If you're able to cross the arms in, cross them again and again and bring those palms in together. Gaze past the hands. Don't gaze at the hands. Look at a focal point on the floor to help your eagle lie well. Pressing those elbows down to open the shoulders. And when you're ready, coming out of eagle. Releasing any tension in that supporting leg. Finding steady point. Start over again, right? Okay, other leg grounding, other foot grounding, that heavy feeling in that foot. Arms out wide. Here's our eagle arms, our wings. Tiptoeing through the other foot. You can always find a wall too. I should have mentioned that. But just remember, overall we want stability and steadiness. Even if we need a little balancing help, we want to build that feeling in the entire body of stability. So when you're ready, picking that knee up, crossing it over. You want to get those knees as close as possible. It's really nestling the legs together, especially if you're trying to reach that foot around. The two sides can be a little different, right? Keeping arms out wide for more stability. Now that we have our right leg over, left arm is going to be on top. Crossing the arms, bringing palms in together if you want. Breathing here, sinking the elbows. And then releasing our way out. Oh, coming back to both feet. Finding those feet under us. Releasing. Letting go through the feet. We'll come back to mountain. the top of our mats. Feeling stable here. Inhaling up. Exhaling forward, folding down. Releasing here and fold, forward fold signal to us to let go of fight or flight, something more common during this time of unusual circumstances. But we can adapt, we can train the body not to go into fight or flight. When we practice calming the body, finding the breath, recentering with the feeling that everything is okay. Breathing here, we're going to bring the hands down. Lowering one knee at a time. We'll come into easy pose. If you want, you can elevate those hips. We're going to find a little arm opener here. So an easy pose, just crossing the legs in, however is comfortable. We're going to find cow face pose. So we're going to lift the right arm up, straight up, the left arm coming behind the back. If you have a towel or a strap, you can hold that in each hand. If not, that's okay. Just drawing the raised hand down. Trying not to lean forward through the head as much as you can avoid it, keeping the neck up. Behind the back, those fingertips might be touching. They might not. For some of us, we have more developed musculature in one arm. So that might affect the range of motion of that joint. Or other things can be going on too. We're not trying to find just one set place. We're listening to both shoulders and finding a place that's doable, where you can breathe. We're training the muscles of the joint and training the joint itself. Breathing here in cow face. And then we're going to release the arms down. We'll just release the hands forward. Just find a little gentle motion releasing both arms. Then we'll switch sides. So left arm lifting up. Right arm now bending at the elbow. The back of the hand towards the back. Palm facing out. This is my side that comes much more naturally. So you might be the reverse. It doesn't matter. Just finding a place where both shoulders, both arms are finding a little bit of challenge. You may feel this in your legs too as you strive to keep the spine tall, core engaged, keeping that head in line with the spine, ears over shoulders. Breathing here can draw some added intensity, so being careful with your breath, but also noticing how you can use that. Moving the gentle swell of the breath. And then we'll slowly release the arms, bringing those hands forward, connecting to the fingers, and moving the soles of the feet towards each other for bound ankle. If you want, shifting a little left and right as you find that center point. Drawing the heels in nice and close if you can. Sitting up tall, holding those ankles, folding forward here. Hinging at the hips. Knees are sinking down. Noticing that place you feel the resistance. Is it in the hips, in the lower back? Trying to work with that resistance. Trying to release that resistance as you fold down and forward. And making your way up. From here, we're going to go right into deer. So a little different type of pose. We're just going to keep the left leg forward, but we're going to bend the right knee and bring the right foot back. So now the front foot is across and shin is across in front of us. The back knee is bent with the back foot back behind. We're trying to still stay steady on both hips so we're not shifting way over to the front hip as much as we can avoid it. Then we're just going to fold forward and over towards that front leg a little. So from here, staying centered as best you can, feeling that opening in the front hip. And then as you fold, you can move towards that front knee a little, over to the left. Sinking down. To involve the arms and shoulders a little, you can straighten those arms out. Trying to push the hips back even as you fold forward. From here, we're going to walk the hands back in, and we're just going to straighten that back leg out. So keeping this front leg where it is, half straddle, half wide angle. We'll fold now to the back, to the left straight leg. Right, for you guys. Breathing and folding down here. Reaching for that ankle or those toes or maybe the arch of the foot. Letting the spine sink down. Releasing even through the head and the neck if you can. Connecting to those tendons, those ligaments that help hold the neck and spine together. Finding gentle edges in those. Then from here, walking the hands in and up, and we'll switch sides, moving into deer on the other side. So right leg coming across, left foot going back. Trying to even out right and left. Both hips grounding. And beginning to fold forward, even as the hips try to stay back. Hinging at the hips. Then walking over towards that front knee. Folding down. Rounding here. Then slowly making your way up. Shifting that back leg around and forward. Folding now to the straight leg. Sinking down. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling as you sink. Folding down and forward. As you breathe, releasing the legs, letting go. When the body feels safe, it will relax and sink into folds more easily. So just taking yourself to a safe place, then using the breath to let you sink a little bit deeper. From here, walking the hands in. Coming back through the center, bending the knees a little here for a little release of the legs. Letting knees relax down side to side, releasing the spine and the legs. From here, we're going to move into staff pose. First, crossing the right leg over the left. So just at the ankles, finding a gentle cross. Folding down and forward. Reaching for the toes. Sinking down along the spine. Releasing the nose and the forehead down. Feeling grounded through the hips. From here, making your way back up. Crossing feet the other way. One over the other, sitting up tall. As you sit, beginning to sink forward. Feeling the hips sinking down. Hands can draw the feet a little further apart from each other if you want. Or they can press them together, just finding some slight variation of staff that feels right for this moment. Breathing here. And beginning to release the hands, making your way back up. From here, we'll lower down onto the back. Dropping knees towards the chest, release that lower back. Rolling down here. Checking in with arms and legs, just restoring a sense of neutral to the spine. From here, we're going to go into a gentle spinal twist. We're going to keep the legs pretty close to each other, so think of that eagle we did earlier as well. We're going to bring the feet down, and let's see, we'll cross the right leg over the left. So just as though you cross the legs, getting the knees in nice and close. You don't need to tuck that foot under. In fact, that would probably be a bit intense, but you can try it if you want. From here, we're going to press up through the hips and draw them over to the right, just a little. So you're going to bring that lower foot over as well. We're going to bring arms out to the sides, and we'll just let the legs go over to the left. So twisting, floating the legs down. Now, if you want, you can tuck those knees in closer. This opposite hand could come to the upper leg. If this twist feels too intense, you can bring your blanket over and place it under those knees for a little more support. Here we're thinking of the heart facing up to the sky. So we're letting the shoulders widen out from one another. Gaze can be up, or if you're able, look out at that other arm over opposite the legs, opening through the neck. Breathing here and twist. Sinking down, letting the body ring out. Then slowly taking the neck back to neutral, up to the sky. Uncrossing the legs, we'll draw them back center as well. Rolling onto the back. Here we go, bringing those knees into the chest just to neutralize anything that's come from that twist. Any rotation of the vertebra, bringing them back center. Checking in with those arms as well. Feeling level through the hips. When ready now, bringing those feet down, switching sides, left leg over right. Move your blanket if you're using that. Arms coming out to the sides. We want to bring the hips over to the left just a bit. So you can bring that foot and hip over just to give a nice counterbalance so that as we rotate, we have some room. Now sinking the legs down to this side, floating them down. Legs in nice and close, gaze up to the sky. Feeling opening now through this upper shoulder, across the chest. If you're able, gazing over to that left hand. You can always support the head with the other hand if you need to. The head is down, there's space behind the neck, but just finding your way into the twist. Breathing here. As you breathe, just letting the body release and relax down. Breathing into the belly, into the ribs, into the heart. Hand can come to the upper leg. Deepen that twist, or just for reminding the legs to stay where they are. Breathing here. And from here, we'll come back to the middle. Uncrossing the legs. Bringing knees back to neutral. Finding those edges of your mat. Centering here. Grind knees in. You can paint some little circles with the knees. Either direction, just rotating through those hip joints. Here we'll lift the arms and the legs up in the air, circling them around, rotating each way, pointing and flexing. And from here, we'll lower down to our final relaxation, sinking down onto the mat. You can add layers under or over as needed. As you sink down onto the back, melting down into your mat. Closing eyes here. You can add an eye pillow if you have one. Just doing whatever lets you ground down. As you sink down, closing the eyes. As you close the eyes, beginning to let that sense of feel take over. So starting with the feet. Relaxing the toes and the ankles. Relaxing through the shins and the calves. Letting go behind the knees and the tops of the kneecaps. Here as you let go, sinking the upper legs down. As you sink through the hips, the breath is now gentle and easy. Just letting the breath flow naturally throughout the body. Releasing the ribs and the shoulders down. Letting go through the hands and the elbows. Thumbs and fingers sinking down. Releasing the neck and the ears. Floating the muscles of the cheeks and the jaw down. Releasing the forehead and the scalp as you relax down. Noticing your breath. Noticing the present taking over. Going with the flow here. Checking in. Breathing and feeling. Our thought today comes from Robert M. Pirsig. The place to improve the world is first in one's own heart and head and hands, and then work outward from there. So from here, as you're turning back to the present, turning to one side, taking a moment to think of what you're grateful for today. This can be within your own heart or head or hands. Then sitting up, finding easy pose. Connecting to your breath. From here, drawing hands overhead, inhaling, exhaling, bringing hands to the heart. Thank you for finding time today to continue to deepen and grow your yoga practice. The light within me bows to the light within you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will. Have a great week, everyone.